Hmm. Oh. Huh. Oh. Huh. Oh. Ah. Aha. Huh. Hmm. 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 Magnifique.
Logical thinking shall always prevail.
Gentlemen, I have called the police and they should arrive shortly. What can I do in the meantime?
Do you still hold the master key?
Of course. You are the only other person who has had access to it.
Très bien. Please keep it close. I believe the thief may be one of the guests here today.
Is there something? I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Monsieur Hastings, I pose this question to you. If Mademoiselle Warbeck still has the master key...
Is she not a suspect herself?
Très bien.
Mademoiselle Warbeck is likely not our thief.
At some time during this evening's festivities, the key was taken from her pocket and used in the restoration room door without her knowledge. If we find the pickpocket, we will uncover our painting thief. First, we must search the restoration room. Mesdames et messieurs, your attention please. I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian Police Force. I was charged with the safety of the penitent Magdalene painting on its voyage to London from Belgium. The missing painting has indeed cut the celebrations of the gala short, and so I consider my duty to be, as yet, incomplete. With your cooperation, I ask that you all remain within the building, and I intend to speak with you all individually.
If I was the thief, I would certainly be worried after a speech like that. I just wonder if... maybe I should let you do the questioning.
Monsieur Hastings, the painting's safe return also falls upon your shoulders.
I know, but I can make myself useful elsewhere, see what clues I can find.
Order and method. That is... Another success.
The answer was staring me in the face.
What a revel...
Bonsoir, Monsieur Christiansen.
Detective, what a mess you have on your hands.
That is certainly one way to describe it. Perhaps you can begin to help me to...
I was with Betty most of the evening. She wasn't feeling herself. I'm glad I didn't leave and miss out on all of this. Don't tell me you don't get a little thrill when a new case appears.
I do not think about such thrills, Monsieur Christiansen. Only justice.
All business, no pleasure, I see. I remember seeing the priest.
The bishop.
Yes, him. He came down the stairs just before Mr. Aylesworth recovered. Maybe a man of the church was all he needed. Oh, you saw that.
I believe every soul in the museum did, or at least heard the commotion.
So I look like the bad guy, That's what you get for standing...
A bully?
She made some pretty awful comments about you should lock her up for what she did to me. She's unhinged. Are you married, Detective Poirot?
I am not.
Then heed my warning. If your wife, whenever she comes along, wants to be left alone, you leave her alone.
Merci. Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
It seems trouble follows you, Detective.
So it would appear. And the faster I am able to ask my questions, the faster this trouble.
I saw Betty leave the main hall and head for the West Wing after the whole champagne debacle. What do you think that was all about?
It is not my job to speculate on such private matters. It is to uncover the location of the missing painting and who is responsible.
If there is someone who can, it's you, Detective.
Merci, mademoiselle. Mademoiselle, if you have a moment, I...
Look around you, Detective. Out of the ordinary is the ordinary here.
Regarding the guests of the gala, you had the opportunity to speak with them all?
I met that delightful Farquhar girl, the art critic. With any luck, her article will finally give me the respect I deserve.
Your talk on the balcony went well, I presume.
Well, indeed. We weren't up there for long before the poor politician was struck down. What luck for there to be a doctor at the scene. And for us to have a detective here, too. Before I wasted a perfectly good glass of champagne on that man, you mean?
That is certainly one way to tell the story.
I'd hardly call him trying to push himself upon me as a story.
With his wife in the same room?
You think a man with that much arrogance cares? Women are nothing more than objects to him.
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for now. Bonsoir, Mademoiselle Babagnan.
Please, Detective. Surely we are past those formalities.
What you may consider a formality, I consider etiquette.
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting the other guests. I feel so fortunate just to be invited myself.
Modesty is the color of virtue. Now, mademoiselle, you were saying...
Oh, yes. We all gathered for that delightful photograph. Then I spent some time looking at all the wonder. I did notice the actress and the politician returned to the main hall together.
And the other guests?
I saw Bishop Mountjoy and the politician, oh forgive me, I forget his name, leave towards the east wing together. It was much earlier in the night. Well, before that.
You have been as enchanting as always. Madame Warbeck, a moment.
I was rather busy, as you saw. Especially...
Disappearing act. An artist and a magician.
She was nowhere to be found. Is that better? She was supposed to help me organize everything. Then I saw her throwing her glass of champagne at Mrs. Allen's husband. I was hoping to speak with her after, but I didn't see her again until she was calling down from the balcony following Mr. Christensen. After the theft, on my way to telephone the police, he was looking...
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for now. Bonsoir, Your Excellency.
I should be addressed as Your Grace.
Pardon. I did not mean to offend, Your Grace.
It is quite all right. None of us can choose where we're born. If I must, I was talking with Mr. Aylesworth for a time.
Would you care to elaborate?
You were not present for that conversation, and I hardly think it appropriate to involve you now. Although he left, and I spoke briefly to that actress, but she wandered off looking for her husband. Who would have thought the reveal of the missing painting?
Perhaps a warning to us all that such a scare could come at any time.
Are you trying to say that is what's going...
Your Grace has misinterpreted my meaning. But on the matter of where you were at the time...
Then maybe you should think before you speak. And I was talking with a young Russian girl.
Merci, Your Grace.
I thought I would make myself useful, and I think I found some things of note.
Bon. I shall go and retrieve them now. You were wise to not touch them and contaminate any evidence.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I did only move them to the West Wing.
Fantastique.
The evidence suggests something.
Some would say a lucky guess. This will not get... I must take a different approach.
Voila.
Hot on the culprits. Things are beginning to be...
What can I do for you?
Merci.
It would be my pleasure.
You have been...
Very well.
Merci.
More question.
Merci.
Ah. Aha. Huh. Aha.
If it'll help retrieve... Of course.
Mademoiselle?
I'm sorry.
I was not expecting,
Mademoiselle Warbeck, I really must insist on that. I find your reluctance to oblige a little...
Now listen. I am the curator of this...
Miss Warbeck, will you let the man in?
Please, Evelyn. Let's not drag this on all night.
Evelyn Warbeck?
That's me.
Detective Inspector Hardwick. I was told a painting's been half-inched.
Yes, it's...
Stolen. Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian police, seconded by the Musée Royal des Beaux-Arts de Belgique and Lloyd's of London, to escort the pet... How do you do, Detective Inspector Hardwick?
Well, thank you for that introduction, Mr. Poirot, but we won't be needing your help this evening.
But you see, not only do I have a considerable personal stake in this matter, I also possess undoubtedly the finest investigatory mind in all of Belgium.
I'm sure Belgium thinks you're the bee's knees, but we'll be just fine and dandy.
I must insist, Inspector.
Bloody hell! I don't have time for this. Will someone try and get through to this man before he does my head in?
Dear Mr. Poirot. I know you meant well, but perhaps now is not the time to push the inspector's buttons.
Très bien. Monsieur Hastings, the fate of the penitent Magdalene lies in our hands.
And Miss Warbeck's career, by the sound of it.
Then we shall waste no time. We have spoken with a number of the guests from the gala, but there still remains those who are absent.
Then let's go and find them.
Poirot, over here. I heard about the painting. Trouble just seems to follow you. If there's anything I can do to help.
I am looking for Madame Hélène. Would you know where I could find her?
If she's not on stage already or rehearsing, she'll be in her dressing room. That alleyway will take you to the back door.
Ah.
Oh, this isn't quite what I was expecting from a
famous star that is not on stage, nor in her dressing room.
You don't think something could have happened to her?
Combining the state of the room and her being absent.
Oh. Huh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Huh. Ah. Hmm. Aha. Oh. Huh.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
The fact that there are valuable items remaining in the safe leads me to believe that the thief was looking for something specifically. Something that they knew would be present in the safe. Meaning they had previous knowledge of the contents of Madame Hélène's safe. Come now. Come, my little Grace. The pieces of the puzzle off. I should consider this further. Where is the sense? I must act. Something just does. One step closer to Magnifique. I cannot see the logic in this. Come, my little Grace. Come now. Hot on the culprits.
What do you need? What can I do? Why, Mrs. Allen? What can I do for you?
Madame Allen was behind the mess that lies before us.
What do you think you're doing in here? Security!
Pardon, Madame Allen. I do not wish to cause any alarm. I am Detective Poirot. You will recall from the gala.
Yeah, I remember you. Doesn't give you the right to be snooping in here.
Snooping, no. Waiting patiently, oui.
You can wait outside. I'll talk to you there. Well, go on then, shoot.
Madame Allen. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Look, let's just get on with this, shall we?
I promise not to take up too much of your valuable time.
Well, thanks to Johann walking off, I got stuck talking, a term I use loosely, with Mr. Aylesworth and the all-important bishop, as he likes to consider himself.
Where did your husband go?
Beats me. But when I saw him next, he was being attacked by that crazy artist. You must have seen it.
I did, and while I do not condone such behavior...
If you are going to defend that woman's actions against my husband, I'll stop you there. Not really any of your business, is it?
I would not forgive myself if something improper had happened and I had not addressed it.
You've got nothing to worry about. I'm an emotional woman. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? I thought it was best to just get myself out of there. He may have bitten his tongue, but if I'd got my hands on her...
Your husband mentioned you were feeling under the weather, no?
Me? No.
Ah, je vois. May I also ask about the snuff box that was found?
I've heard the Brits like that stuff. Not for me, though. Sorry.
You have been most helpful.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
Merci. Ah.
You're just full of questions.
You have been...
What do you need? What can I do?
Merci.
What do you need? What can I do?
Merci.
You're just full of questions.
You have been... Oh.
You're just full of questions.
You have...
Hello?
Bonjour.
You're not English. Where are...
Madame, I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Kingdom of Belgium's police force.
So what?
I was hoping to speak with a neighbor of yours. Mademoiselle...
She's not in. Are you waiting for her?
Do you know how long she...
You can give her this. And tell her I did what I could with it.
I will be sure to do that. Adieu, madame.
Oh. Huh.
I told you last time you made a mess of things that if anything else was to happen,
So, you are blaming me for the painting going missing. I have poured my heart and my soul into...
Pardon. Perhaps this is a conversation that should be had behind closed doors.
This conversation will happen where and when I want it to.
What Detective Poirot means is maybe somewhere a little less public would be a better place to have it.
I am well aware of what your foreign friend was implying, and I shall give you exactly the same answer.
Let us not say anything that one would later regret. A moment to breathe for everyone, perhaps.
You do as much breathing as you want. As long as you find that painting.
Your Grace, there are matters with...
You do understand my time is valuable, don't you?
Merci. Mademoiselle, may I request a minute of your time?
What can I do for...
Can you not see that we're busy?
What do you need? What can I do for you?
Merci.
Mm-hmm. Aha.
I don't think you quite understand the severity of the situation.
I'm well aware, and I'll conduct my investigation how I see fit.
That just isn't good enough. How would you feel if... Who am I kidding? You could never afford something like that.
I can assure you Detective Inspector Hardwick and his men will be doing all they can to find your missing...
Now you have some officer from another country entirely fighting your battles for you?
I speak on behalf of no one but myself, monsieur.
And I didn't ask you. Hardwick, get it found.
Right you are. If you want to deal with it.
Will you allow some officer a moment of your time?
I'm a very busy man.
And then I shall keep my question short.
I'd say the heart attack.
Quite understandable. But
I was talking to the bishop, or rather being talked at. He doesn't see it, but he gets quite heated. That's the last thing I remember. I did. That man just wants someone to listen to his incessant rant. I decided to walk away and see the orrery.
You two spoke?
Briefly, but she was looking for her husband, so I think her mind was elsewhere.
I will not take up it.
Detective Inspector Hardwick has made it quite clear that my valuable insight is not wanted.
What do you need? What can I do?
Merci. Mademoiselle,
What can I do for you?
Can you not...
You're just full of questions, aren't you? Where did you get that?
it was found in a vent at the museum. Perhaps the very last thing I expected to find.
Yes. Well, thank you. I knew I had lost it somewhere.
A clearly valuable ring has just been returned to Madame.
And I would not describe throwing a ring at one's husband resulting in it being stuck in a vent.
It is clear Madame Hélène felt no sickness at the gala, rather anger. In a moment of rage, she threw her ring at her husband before exiting the museum. And having seen the damage that she has caused in her own dressing room, one can conclude that it was the state of her marriage that allowed her emotions to get the better of her and act so rashly.
You have been most helpful.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
Merci.
You're just full of...
You have been...
Oh.
I hope you're getting something out of wasting my time. Heated? Who said that?
They are the words of Monsieur Ellsworth.
Oh, the man is in politics. He should know what heated looks like. Maybe I was a little forceful. There was no one else around. How was I to know he was having a heart attack when he clutched his chest? It could have been anything. And when I saw he was in trouble, I went to get help. I suppose I got lost finding my way back.
I do not believe Bishop Mountjoy was the instigator of Monsieur Ellsworth's heart attack, but it appears he does.
Merci.
What can I do for you? He knows just how to push. He knows what this museum means to me.
That is clear to us all.
He thinks he can say and do what he wants because of his position. But if he thinks he can get rid of me that easily, this museum is my life. And if anyone, including him, tries to do anything to jeopardize that, I'm sorry. The detective inspector was quite adamant I wasn't to allow anyone in.
Detective Hercule Poirot is not just any man, mademoiselle.
And modest to boot. I suppose it can't hurt. Follow me. There you go.
The key. It is in a far better condition than yesterday.
It was looking grubby and covered in rust, so I cleaned it. Is that a...
If you find anything else that may be of importance to the investigation, I ask that you leave it as you found it.
Ah. Hmm. Huh. Oh. Oh. Aha. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Huh.
What do you need? What can I... Merci.
Aha. Oh. Hmm.
Is there something I am not seeing? Where is the sense in that? Order and method. Logical thinking shall always prevail. Things are big. The answer was... I should consider this. I must act on thought and fact. The evidence suggests.
When the thief entered this room from the west wing, there was no paint on the key. We know this because there was no paint on the key when they used it on the door to the gallery. But there is paint on the key when the thief locks the west wing door after stealing the painting, telling us
the key got covered in paint in this room.
oui, and only after the painting was stolen. So, what happened in between locking the door to the gallery and leaving this room to lock the west wing door? The picture is becoming clearer. The thief unlocked the door from the west wing unlocked the door to the gallery, and stole the painting. They then returned, whereupon they laid the thief locked the door and returned to the painting. But then, an accident.
How can you be so sure?
We know because the paint palette was the only source of blue paint.
But why put the painting on this table, where items may be knocked or where they may...
Aha. Huh. Oh. Ah. Ah. Mm-hmm.
What do you need? What can I do for you? can I do for you?
Merci, monsieur.
What do you need? What can I...
Merci.
Aha. Huh.
The detective inspector will now be able to see as plain as day that Mademoiselle Court Smythe is the guilty party.
With the other remaining guests' movements all accounted for, she was the only one capable of making haste with the painting.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss Babanian? She wanted to speak with me after the bishop was finished chewing my ear off, but it seems the pair of them have disappeared.
I'm afraid not.
Can't have been that important then.
What can I do for you?
Merci, mademoiselle.
What do you need? What can I do?
Merci.
Ah.
I hope you're getting something out of wasting my...
Merci.
Ah, Detective, you're here.
Look and you shall find.
Oh, well, I've had the photographs from the Garda developed.
That's good thinking, Miss Farquhar.
Oui, very kind, mademoiselle. There is nothing left for us to do but to take our findings to the...
Do you think he'll listen?
It is his duty as a high-ranking officer of the law. We have done all but arrest Mademoiselle Court Smythe for him. If it is the accolade that he desires...
I was thinking that while you were speaking with Miss Court Smythe, I could try and find Mr. Christensen at their home.
It would certainly be more efficient. An excellent idea.
funny accent. He was here earlier asking the same questions. All I want is a bit of peace.
I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
Monsieur Hastings, your assistance is required immediately.
Good Lord, Poirot, that's a lot of smoke.
And now you are up to speed with the situation. I have evaluated the position we find.
If you're going to use the fire extinguisher, now would be the time.
Très bien.
That's it. One more should do it.
Detective Inspector, it is imperative we search the crime scene as soon as possible.
You mean my crime scene?
If I may, I can count on one hand how many crime scenes I have seen in my life, and as the representative of Lloyd's of London Bank, it is my responsibility to handle all matters regarding the now stolen painting.
A weak attempt, but I've got more on my plate than dealing with some paper pusher getting his knickers in a twist. You've got until I return to do whatever it is you need to do.
You may question my authority in this case, but I will not have my professionalism questioned.
Whatever you say.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh. Oh. Hmm. Huh. Aha. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Huh. Aha. Huh. Aha. Mm-hmm. Oh. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Oh. Oh. Ah. Hmm.
From analyzing the victim's body.
Not by the flames.
That is what we are.
I should not be sub. Something just. This will not get me. What a revelation!
Monsieur Hastings, of course. What can I do for you?
From analyzing the victim's body, I can conclude that the cause of death was not dead by the flames.
Not by the flames? Then what?
That is what we are yet to determine.
What can I do for you? Mr. Poirot, you are a genius. What can I do for you? can I do for you? That would never have even occurred to me. What can I do for you?
Let us get...
What do you need? It wasn't an accident. It was set on purpose, using turpentine to douse any evidence of them being there, and the forgery.
An almost perfect execution, had we not arrived in time before the evidence had burned away.
But why try and get rid of the necklace?
Spoken like a true detective.
What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Let us get...
Huh. Aha.
Didn't you speak with her neighbour before? Might she be able to help?
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth. I cannot see the logic in this. Another success. Voila.
What do you need? Of course, the painting. What can I... That would never have even occurred to me. I've got a lot to learn. What can I do for you?
Let us get back...
Is it that copper again? What do you want?
I was hoping to ask you some questions regarding the fire. May I ask your name?
You aren't coming in. You can get that into your head now. Mrs.
Merci, Madame Colcham.
She hardly had any visitors, but yesterday it was like she had a sign up offering out free aid.
If you would be so kind as to talk us through the events as you remember them.
Well, I saw her leaving with a couple of paintings under her arm. You've seen her work? Not really my cup of tea. Then there was that posh-looking chap. Next came the professional-looking fella. Oh, and the argument with another man? I couldn't hear what it was all about.
You are doing a wonderful job, Madame Colcham.
You can keep the patronizing tone to yourself. She must have turned her radio up to disguise what they were saying. But I tell you this, I'd rather have listened to them than that racket. It wasn't long before he was storming down the stairs. I don't think he'd heard the expression light-footed before.
Would you be able to remember any other details of the gentleman?
Through this people, you can barely tell who's man and woman. I didn't hear her leave, but when I heard that door downstairs slam, I opened my door and gave her what for. And you know what she did? She waved me off, bottle of bubbles in hand. Only after did she turn the radio down. I wasn't going to waste the peace and quiet. I was getting right into the exciting bit of my book. Perkins' first one, you know. I do like Perkins. Well, that and then you lot showed up.
Merci, Madame. You have been most accommodating.
Oh, and I found this in the garden. It's obviously her.
The cork from a champagne bottle. It would not be a giant leap to assume this came from Mademoiselle. A smell lingers on the cork. Bitter almonds.
Merci.
I should consider the... One step closer.
Ah. Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh. Aha. Ah. Oh. Huh.
What do you need? Almonds? I've never had champagne that tasted of almond.
One would hope not.
What can I do?
Let us get...
The pieces of the... The evidence suggests something. Order and method.
What do you need? I don't know if I...
Take your time. Consider what we have seen.
Okay, firstly, we know that she had among these visitors, one left with a painting.
Très bien.
Irene wasn't drinking alone, and whoever she was drinking with likely poisoned her. The killer used a syringe to inject a liquid form of the
potassium cyanide. Traces of the compound can be found in nature, but dangerous levels, such as those present.
And she fell victim shortly after in her chair. What are you going to tell him?
The truth. He may hope for a simple and somewhat convenient version of events, but he cannot ignore the facts that we shall present.
My crime scene still intact?
Of course, Detective Inspector. There is something that...
There's nothing more to say.
Pardon, Detective Inspector. The truth is that Mademoiselle Irene Court Smythe...
Right you are. I'll be sure to make a note.
But you won't.
Excuse me? Are you forgetting who you're talking to?
He is well aware of your authority and your capability of coming to the same conclusion. We only wish to inform you of our findings.
Well, my men have been in, as have I, and I've concluded that the Mademoiselle, as you so elegantly called her, made off with the painting and decided to have a few drinks to celebrate. She passed out drunk in the chair, candle still lit.
Detective Inspector, s'il vous plaît.
Who are you calling simple?
He's not calling you simple, he's saying that isn't how it happened. How can you ignore the bottle of champagne that had been tampered with? The smell of poison on the cork.
You're both experts in poison now, are you?
I do not wish to stand here and argue credentials. Mademoiselle Cotte Smythe was killed, not by the fire that burnt through her home, but at the hands of another. Her drink, laced with potassium cyanide.
Quite the imagination, you two.
Look, we can show.
No. We shall leave the detective inspector to discover the truth for himself. Detective, adieu. Monsieur Hastings, you must learn which battles are worth the fight. Besides, we have no time to stand squabbling with him. We have a murder to solve.
That was quite a night. I feel exhilarated, yet...
It is being able to control those emotions and still see the bigger picture that separates the best detectives from those that merely like the thought of such responsibility.
So do you think it must have been one of the guests at the gala?
An accomplice disguised as a guest turned murderer. A master criminal they may appear to be, but they have never crossed paths with Belgium's greatest detective.
I think I just felt a chill.
Now we must speak with the guests of the gala again, as well as find Monsieur Christiansen, who has continued to evade my questions. I have no doubt one or more of them will hold the answers we require regarding the death of Mademoiselle Cotte Smythe.